Thank you for joining us. This is Kyle from Champion. And Kyle, we're talking about transitioning, when a company's transitioning and where talent comes into that. And people don't think about that.
No, as you've heard in so many of our other videos, there's a lot of things that go into a succession plan and preparing a business to transition. And oftentimes we find one of the first things that's neglected is the talent or how you're going to protect and retain key employees.
And that's what a company really is, and when it comes down to it,
absolutely.
Right?
Most businesses, what drives the value of that business is the culture and those key employees. So if the new business owner is unable to retain those, and they have to start from scratch and replace those, there are going to be questions as to whether they're getting what they're actually paying for.
Right. What can an owner do, or a buyer?
First things first is include this in the conversations between buyer and seller at a very early stage. There should be a planned communication between both organizations as to how this transition is going to take place, when it's going to take place, and how it's going to impact things as simple as day-to-day operations. You don't want folks wondering when the almighty hammer or when things are going to change. That's what builds fear, and fear is what drives talent out the door. You want to take the time, meet with your one-on-one employees and your key employees. Take the temperature of their feelings. Do an employee engagement survey and get an understanding of how they feel about it. And above all, make sure you substantiate what's in it for them. Put key incentives and opportunities in place for those folks, so that way there's a reason for them to stick with you. They understand their place in the new organization, and then oftentimes they're going to start to look at this as a plus and not a negative, that new doors are opening with this transition.
I'm curious, so when should this start? How early should you start with your employees and, cluing them in on what's happening?
As soon as you have the plan together. So we don't want to go forward until we have the plan, because the more you backtrack, the more you second guess, the more it fuels that doubt. So you want this to be very, very confident, very comprehensive, and that's why the key component is bringing this up in the negotiation phase and talking phase of the transition plan. So when a purchase agreement or a transition is signed, you already have this plan in place, you have the roadmap in place, and it's prioritizing, again, the culture and those key employees. So you have a happy buyer and a happy seller at the end of the rainbow.
Really, really important. So Kyle, somebody's watching and they may have something cooking, or maybe think about getting some cooking. How best to get in touch with you guys at Champion?
Absolutely. You can connect with myself through my email or directly through championpersonnel.com. Or if you are already connected with one of our OEP network partners, reach out to them. We all work together, and that's the focus of this video series, is to show how we can come together to solve your needs.